Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Singh. Awesome Naya, thank you so much for the support. Hope you all are doing great. So I came across this video from, I think she's Greek. I don't know where she is from, but wherever she is from, I do not care. I am going to ask, what is it with them with always looking for a way to bring Black people into everything? Because they really cannot exist without Black people. Because this is madness and jealousy, obsession at the same time. She is asking if children of illegal migrants should have to pay for crimes of their parents. Why do they have to pay Black people reparations? And how did illegal migrants and their children and crime got to do with paying Black people reparations? And do you know why they say reparations should be paid to Black people? Because you look dumb without your bushy eyebrow, with that hair that looks very thin, and that mouth that looks like someone that you bought it from Timo or Shein, because that ain't how somebody's lips should look like. That lip you mentioned Black people with. I don't know what is wrong with them, because this is kind of getting out of hand, right? And the fact that this video is up and running and racking views is something that I do not understand. But as a Black content creator, you cannot make videos without being suppressed. If I show you majority of my videos, they do not have ads on it because they say they are not suitable. Why are they not suitable? Let's get.
It's exhausting being Black and being gaslit in your own country by everyone.
Hey, quick question. If children of illegal immigrants shouldn't have to pay for the crimes of their parents when they came here illegally, why should we have to pay Black people reparations today? Thank you.
Oh, Lord. Again. A fucking again. Nothing new, nothing changed, same old shit. Same old.
There's nothing I hate more than when someone comes online uninformed, uneducated, and uses their uninformed, uneducated opinions to push racist ideologies. When I say Black people have no allies, I truly mean that. For you to come online and talk about Black people and reparations when your ancestors, because you look like you're an immigrant, would not be able to be in this country with immigration without the fight of my ancestors. Let me break down what reparations means and why reparations for slavery is definitely something that should have already occurred in this country. The definition for reparations is the making of amends for a wrong one has done by paying money to or otherwise helping those who have been wrong to correct a wrong. One of the biggest wrongs in America is the wrong that has been done by Black people, that is continuously, systematically done to Black people. Reparations have been given out many times in America to Holocaust survivors who weren't even American citizens, to the Japanese, to Native Americans. And now what do they have in common? Why were people so gung-ho to give out those people reparations? Because they weren't Black. You have to understand, 99.9% of things in this country are rooted in racism. So let's break that down. 60% of the middle class that exists, that is white Americans, would not exist without handouts from the government. After the war, when people were able to come home, buy homes, get jobs, and build their life, that was done by the GI Bill. Majority of your grandfathers and great-grandfathers were able to buy and purchase those homes, and you to have generational wealth because of handouts. Guess who wasn't able to get that? My grandfather, because he was Black. Imagine serving your country and coming back and you can't get the same handouts white people are getting because you're Black. This is why reparations needs to be corrected. Not only because we were slaves and then we were oppressed for 250 years, but because systematically, once we got free, every time we built something, they burned it. Every time we didn't have access to something we made our own, they burned it. We didn't have access to healthcare. We didn't have access to education. We could not buy homes. We could not build wealth in this country. And you taking, I don't know what example you're using to try to lessen the effect of what reparations is, it's crazy to me. What reparations looks like is a different beast, okay? That's different. And I don't know whether that comes in the form of free education, whether it comes in the form of housing, that's different. But systematically, America is the richest country in the world because of free labor from Black slaves. That's a fact. You cannot change the facts. You cannot change anything. And when you try to change the facts from what they are, that's when we get all these conversations. So yeah, reparations is something that should happen.
quick question. If children of illegal immigrants shouldn't have to pay for the crimes of their parents when they came here illegally, why should we have to pay Black people reparations today?
TikTok supports white supremacy, and why do they always bring us into their weird, false equivalency arguments? The crime of escaping your country to come somewhere where you have a chance to get away from the oppression and the danger that you were in is not the same thing as the crime of enslaving, raping, killing, selling, dehumanizing, and creating a whole system based on making sure that those people can't do better. It's like comparing someone that stole a candy bar to someone that dropped a nuclear bomb on a city. And while you're on your nonsensical, racist rant, maybe you should address the fact that slave masters were given reparations. And you can trace a lot of wealthy people in this country now back to those slave masters who received reparations. And I'd like to mention again that TikTok supports white supremacy.
A viral video of a white woman talking about Black fatigue and how we don't need to give the Black community reparations because we weren't around during slavery and neither were they. There were thousands of comments. This was going viral so quickly. Fully expecting to see people fighting her in the comment section. No, thousands of comments of white people, mostly. There was one Native American that was like, as a Native, thank you for saying this. I was like, what? There were so many white people in the comments saying, we're sick of this. Did they think that we were going to be silent for this long? You guys, those are war cries, if I've ever heard them. Thousands of white people in a comment section saying, did they really think we're going to be silent for this long? That's not good. And then I looked back, I saved the video. Literally, this was like 20 minutes ago. I saved the video and then I was going to reference it in this one, but it either has been taken down or she took it down herself. She deleted it. But I know that you guys have probably seen it because it had 500,000 views by the time that it was taken down. The problem is there were so many people in the comment section bold enough to say things like this. So let me say it to all the red hats out there and speak in your language. No one cares about your feelings. We need to talk about facts. And if you don't like the facts, you can go cry about it. Here are the facts. There's a thing called epigenetics. Whatever happens to your ancestors affects your mentality, your emotions, and your physical body for generations after generations after generations. It makes you ill. It makes you suffer emotional triggers that you wouldn't normally have if your ancestors did not go through those things. That is science. Now let's talk about history. Tulsa, Oklahoma, does that ring a bell? Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. If you don't know what happened there and you're a red hat, let me tell you a little history lesson. The Black community was crawling out of the shithole that we left them in. And they created amazing communities where everybody was working together and they had fabulous education and people had money. The United States government bombed their communities, literal bombs dropped. Tulsa, Oklahoma, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. That wasn't even reparations. They were doing this themselves, cultivating this themselves, trying to bring themselves up. Any community that was systematically used and abused by the rest of society needs reparations. That includes the Native. Don't even get me started on Native Americans. I have a whole thing that I think they deserve, which some of y'all might even think I'm crazy, but this is about the Black community right now. Yes, they deserve reparations. They get the short end of the stick almost every single time. This is not just a white, blue-haired woman talking about this. These are facts. And again, facts over feelings, right? Facts over feelings. Even though I don't think this way, nobody that I know thinks this way. You guys have made it very clear in the comment section that a lot of you do. Reparations isn't going to fix everything. What we need is a systematic approach to cultivating generations of people so that they can finally get a leg up in a world that has chopped them off at the kneecaps and continues to chop them off at the kneecaps. Right now, in low-income areas, the government is not giving these counties money for their education systems. Taxes that a certain area pays, I don't know if a lot of people know this, you should, but the taxes that certain areas pay directly affects the type of schools they have. The community is underprivileged, they're going to be underserved, and it's not going to get better. That is how our system in the United States is set up. Period. That right there needs to change. I don't want to hear any other white people talking about black fatigue. You think you're fatigued? And I've seen the discourse on Black TikTok with them talking about black fatigue as well. They do make some points themselves. But again, white people, those are their points to make. You keep your mouth shut. I was blown away. I knew I had to make this video because those white people are scaring me.
So we as white people have an accountability problem, as evidenced by Trump, literally his entire administration, all the way down to the left, far left. We see it all the time on this fucking app. Anytime a white person gets held accountable, we project, shift blame, deny the facts that are right in front of us. Again, Trump and his administration, you can't hold them accountable for shit, even if you have receipts. They just sit there and look at you like you're stupid. And I think it's really important, and this idea is 100% from a black creator that I heard months ago, and I can't remember who said it, so please tag them if you know. But they talk about how accountability is an opportunity for growth, right? It's somebody taking time out of their day, giving you their emotional energy, giving us an opportunity to see where we have fallen short, and then giving us the keys to how to move forward. And I think that for a lot of white people, especially us growing up in some of our families, accountability has been equated to violence, right? Like if I talk back to my mom, I was getting my ass beat by my dad. And there's about a million other examples. So we equate accountability with violence, with punishment. And so these moments where we have opportunities for growth, where we have opportunities to be held accountable, a lot of times our inner child will pop up and signal to our brain that violence is coming, be it emotional, physical, whatever. When the reality is that's not the fucking case as an adult. And another thing that we struggle with is this idea that impact is greater than intention, right? And I learned that from a black woman years ago, Miss Valerie. She taught about it. And so like there are plenty of times we as white people do some dumbass shit, and our intention wasn't to be hurtful, wasn't to be harmful, but the impact of our words or actions were extremely harmful. And so when somebody corrects us or holds us accountable to that, we have to learn that that's an opportunity to take that correction, to take that opportunity of accountability and turn it into something that is beneficial. And if we want to get the fuck out of white supremacy, accountability is like step one. Learning to own our shit, learning to own the shit that our ancestors did, understanding and being accountable for the fact that we have collectively shown ourselves to be a threat. Like the list goes on. If we can't take accountability as white people, we will never grow. And that's just real shit. Good morning. Let's do some simple math inside the USA. If you are white, European American, in prison, in jail, you will get pardoned. Doesn't matter what the crime, Trump's gonna let you out. You just gotta have the right money, the right connections, right? You got immigrant families, men, women, and children. Some going to school, some going to work. They got checkpoints set up to snatch families off the street. I just heard that they're trying to bump up the number to 3,000 immigrants a day to be arrested. Racial profiling from the top down. We also have white cops once again getting away with violence. This is a trigger warning. in Grand Rapids, Michigan, 35 minutes from where I live. We just had another fucking white cop get off with no charges for running down a black man in a cop car, pinning him against the wall of a Burger King and killing him. He got nothing. He got off. You got Trump pardoning the January 6ers, right? Who actually killed cops. Like the math is real simple right now. It has been, but if you've been paying attention as a white person. If you haven't, now it's in your face. And so, and we have black indigenous communities of color, people that have been in the fight for resistance their entire lives, who have revolutionary blood in their veins, giving the keys to white people. This is how the fuck you get out of this, right? Because they're going to have a perspective on white supremacy that we will never understand because we're white. And there's a bunch of white people hearing this information and saying, I want to change, but don't ask me to do that. Like, it's cool, I know things are a problem, but that's too dangerous. Or I don't want to lose something, or I don't want to sacrifice anything. Who are you scared of? Other white people. That's where the threat's coming from. So if we, as white people, live in America right now, you want shit to change, but you're scared to put anything on the line. You're scared of how white people are going to respond to you, which inherently points out how violent we are. So you experience this fear, right? That a Trump supporter, a Trump supporter as a boss, as a teacher or whatever, finds out that you don't support Trump. There's this idea, this thought that white person could potentially carry out violence against you. So you freeze. We freeze collectively. And once again, nothing gets done. Apathy, once again, is chosen and nothing gets done. If we are not actively against what the fuck is happening, we are a part of it. Doesn't matter if you're in freeze. Doesn't matter if you're having some sort of response that stops you from acting and moving forward. We're still part of the problem. I got a bunch of white people in my community that went and showed up at the beach and created the word resist with their bodies. And I know there are going to be some people in that group, some white people in that group that think they did something, right? That they have now become a target for doing this act. And again, who would be targeting them? Other white people. The math is real fucking simple right now. If you're white, you can get away with whatever the fuck you want. You can get pardoned from prison if you got enough money as a white person, the right connections. If you are a black indigenous person of color, you are automatically a threat in the mind of the government. And they are handling it that way, even though that's not a reality. We are the threat. White people are the threat. And then black indigenous communities of color giving us keys. This is how you get the fuck out of this. This is how we fight it. White people are too scared to do it. And so white supremacy continues to move forward. Simple math. It's not as complex as white people try to make it. You're either ready to put skin in the game and potentially sacrifice some shit and learn how to build community amongst each other as white people that give a fuck, or you're checking out, or you actively support what's going on. Either way, that still makes us part of the problem.
This is all I got from this video, and sincerely speaking, a whole lot is going on, but I hope this will get delivered, because at this point in time, they really need to pick a book. Because tell me how a full-grown woman, is out here asking stupid questions, because sincerely speaking, that is a very stupid question. Black people have no allies in United States, and that is something Black people should know already. And TikTok supports white supremacy on a higher level because this video is up and running. But as a Black content creator, you can't even create any content without you being censored. But she is having thousands of views on this video and up running. She is asking, why should Black people be paid reparations? I think what you need is to stop making those videos you are making and use that same phone you used to make videos to check the internet in case you don't know how to pick a book, right? Check the internet. I am very sure that the internet will tell you exactly why Black people should be paid reparations. Because I don't know, she doesn't look white. She looks brown or wherever she is from. I am sure that you migrated wherever you migrated from because Black people paved way for you. And now you are in the United States of America. And Black people will not get reparations because who said so? Because who said so? You all are so lucky to be where you are now because Black people got you all civil rights. That was how you all started migrating. Go and ask your parents in case you do not know how to pick a book, or you ask your parents if only they know, because they know, and most times they act ignorant that they don't know anything. You want to ask? Very silly take. But yeah, what do people know you people for? For being silly. It's like a trophy that you've won and continue to boast in it because it's only an ignorant person that will do that. The kind of racism I've been seeing recently on the internet is way too much. There is no how someone in his or her full senses will do some certain things, but you all, I don't know, but sometimes I am confused. Maybe they smoke, I don't know. I don't mean like the cigarette. I mean, I feel like some of them are high on something, on some shit. Very cheap ones, but I don't know because sometimes they act abnormal, you know? But why is it that anything they want to do or they have to do, Black people must, oh, I think she's Greece or Greek. Oh, Greek. I don't care wherever she is from. I really do not care. But they need to get a grip of themselves. I am going to draw the curtain here. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.